My family forgot my birthday every year while throwing lavish parties for my brother. This time, my heels click against the polished marble of my downtown Denver apartment building, echoing in the emptiness of this Tuesday evening. Another 14-hour workday behind me, another milestone reached for Summit Communications. The client practically hugged me after my presentation today. I check my phone again. Still nothing. The elevator doors slide open with a soft chime, and I step inside, watching my reflection in the mirrored walls. Haley Brennan, 32 years old today, Senior Marketing Director, wearing exhaustion like an expensive perfume. My brown eyes look back at me, searching for something worth celebrating. The number on my screen doesn't change. 0 messages, 0 calls. I tell myself it doesn't matter. I'm a grown woman who handles multi-million-dollar campaigns. Birthdays are for children. But when I unlock my apartment door, the small chocolate cake I'd bought myself that morning sits accusingly on my granite countertop. A single candle stands unlit in its center, a pathetic little soldier awaiting orders that won't come. Happy birthday to me, I whisper to no one. I drop my leather briefcase by the couch and kick off my heels, sinking onto the cushions. My apartment feels hollow tonight, despite the careful decorating I'd done to make it feel like home. The clock on my wall ticks steadily toward midnight, counting down the final minutes of my birthday. My phone remains stubbornly silent. I reach for my laptop, thinking I'll distract myself with work until this day is officially over. Maybe check that Riverside Foods proposal one more time. But instead, my fingers betray me, opening Instagram. The first post freezes me in place. There's my brother Cameron, champagne glass raised high, surrounded by smiling faces. Behind him hangs a banner, "Congratulations on your partnership." My father's arm is draped around his shoulder, pride radiating from his face. My mother stands on his other side, beaming up at her golden son. The timestamp shows the photos were posted 4 hours ago. On my birthday. I scroll down, each image a fresh wound. Dozens of pictures. The entire extended family there, aunts, uncles, cousins I haven't seen in years. All gathered around Cameron, celebrating his promotion to partner at his law firm. The comments swim before my eyes. "So proud of our superstar," my father wrote. "The Brennan family legacy continues," my mother added. My hand trembles as I set the laptop down. They didn't forget my birthday. They chose to celebrate something else instead. The memory surfaces without invitation, sitting alone at Chuck E. Cheese, 11 years old, a single birthday candle melting into my pizza as I waited for my family to return from Cameron's debate tournament. They'd promised they'd be back in time. They weren't. Then at 17, shipped off to Aunt Sarah's house on my birthday weekend while my parents toured Harvard with Cameron. "It's his future, Haley," Dad had explained, not quite meeting my eyes. But this time feels different. This time, I have the power to change something. 4 days later at work, my fingertips hover over the keyboard, frozen in disbelief. The family group chat that I'm not part of, but thanks to Mom's accidental invitation, I can now see everything. Messages sprawl across my screen like evidence at a crime scene, each one more damning than the last. "Haley should contribute significantly to Cameron's partnership celebration," my father wrote. "At least $15,000. My mother's reply appears below, "She just got that bonus. Time she supports the family for once." And there it is. My name spelled Haley in the family thread. 1 I instead of 2. My own mother can't even spell my name correctly after 32 years. I lean back in my office chair, the leather creaking beneath me. The Rocky Mountain skyline stretches beyond my window, buildings glittering in the afternoon sun. Inside Summit Communications' glass-walled conference room, I'm supposed to be preparing for tomorrow's client meeting. Instead, I'm discovering just how little I matter to the people who should care most. My phone vibrates. Ashley pokes her head through my doorway, her red hair bouncing as she enters. "Your brother's calling again," she says, then narrows her eyes at my expression. "Everything okay?" "Cameron used our contacts at Technovibe," I say, turning my laptop toward her. "Pulled their CEO into a meeting for his firm's IPO prep, without asking me." Ashley scans the messages, her frown deepening. "This is the 4th time he's done this. And your dad thinks you should give him 15 grand for a party." She lets out a low whistle. "That's seriously messed up, Haley." Apparently it's time I support the family for once, I say, the words bitter on my tongue. What exactly have they done for you lately? Ashley asks, perching on the edge of my desk. Her bluntness is why we've been friends since our first day 5 years ago. The question hangs in the air as my office phone continues blinking. Cameron, waiting for me to pick up. Probably wants another contact, another favor. Your bonus was well earned, Ashley continues. Mr. Rodriguez wouldn't have approved it otherwise. As if summoned, my boss appears in the doorway. Miguel Rodriguez, CEO of Summit Communications, immaculate in his navy suit despite the late hour. Haley, the Riverside Foods campaign numbers just came in, he says, sliding a folder across my desk. 63% increase in their quarterly revenue. The board is ecstatic. His smile reaches his eyes. This is why I fought for your bonus. You've earned every penny. After he leaves, Ashley squeezes my shoulder. See? At least someone appreciates you. I finally answer Cameron's call, keeping my voice professional despite the anger simmering beneath my skin. He needs Technovibe's marketing director at his firm's client dinner tomorrow. Important potential partnership. Family helping family. I'll see what I can do, I say, non-committal. That evening, I stop at Mrs. Patterson's apartment on the second floor. She opens the door with a warm smile that crinkles the corners of her eyes, the scent of freshly baked snickerdoodles wafting from her kitchen. Right on time, she says, ushering me inside. At 86, Mrs. Patterson moves with the determination of someone half her age. These cookies won't eat themselves. We sit at her small kitchen table, the checkered tablecloth soft beneath my fingers. For 3 years, Tuesday evenings have been our ritual, me bringing takeout, her providing dessert. The family I've chosen rather than the one I was born into. You look troubled, sweetheart, she observes, pushing the cookie plate closer. I tell her about the messages, about Cameron using my contacts, about the $15,000 they expect me to contribute. And they spelled my name wrong, I finish, hearing the childish hurt in my voice. Mrs. Patterson's weathered hand covers mine. Some parents never see their children clearly, too busy looking at their own reflection in their golden child. Her words follow me home, lingering as I change into pajamas, wondering what tomorrow's family confrontation will bring. On Saturday evening, the Brennan family estate looms over Cherry Hills Village, 3 stories of brick and privilege that once intimidated me. Tonight, it just looks like an expensive prison. Inside, my mother, Patricia, fusses with flower arrangements while my father, Robert, pours himself a bourbon. Cameron and his wife, Stephanie, sit on the leather sofa, looking like they stepped out of a country club catalog. Dinner progresses with the usual choreography. My father dominates the conversation, detailing Cameron's recent partnership. My mother interjects with perfect anecdotes. I push prime rib around my plate, waiting for the inevitable. It comes with dessert. Haley. My father says, setting down his coffee cup with authoritative precision. We need to discuss your contribution to Cameron and Stephanie's partnership celebration. The room seems to contract. All eyes turn to me. $15,000 would cover the venue and catering at the Denver Country Club, he continues. As the only family member with a recent windfall, it seems appropriate. My mother nods, her diamond earrings catching the light. Family supports family, darling. The words trigger something in me. Family supports family. When had they supported me? I can't, I say quietly. My father frowns, not processing my refusal. I beg your pardon? I can't contribute $15,000. My voice steadies. That's nearly a quarter of my bonus. I have other plans for it. Silence descends, thick and unfamiliar. No one in this room is accustomed to hearing no from Haley Brennan. What other plans could possibly take precedence over your brother's celebration? My father's voice drops dangerously. My future, I answer simply. My mother's face crumples. After all we've done for you, she whispers, tears gathering. The performance is flawless, designed to maximize guilt. What exactly have you done for me? The question slips out before I can stop it. My father rises, towering over the table. I will not tolerate ingratitude in this house. Your brother is building something meaningful. The least you can do is support his success. His words strike with surgical precision, finding the bruise he's been pressing my entire life. I stand, legs unsteady beneath me. I need to go, I say, gathering my purse. My mother reaches for my arm. Haley, please, don't make a scene. But for once, I don't retreat into silence. I don't smooth things over. I walk out the front door, guilt trailing behind me like a shadow. But something else too, resolution. For the first time in 32 years, I've refused to fade into the background of my brother's life. It feels terrifying. It feels right. In my Honda Civic, hands still trembling on the steering wheel, I make a promise to myself. This is just the beginning. A week later, Mom calls every morning at precisely 7:15. I've started leaving my phone in the bathroom while I make coffee. Haley, sweetie, this rebellious phase needs to end, her voice echoes from the speaker as I apply mascara. Your father hasn't slept properly since that dinner. I watch myself in the mirror, cataloging the familiar tightness around my mouth that appears whenever I think about home. Mom, I'm not being rebellious. I'm 32. Then why are you breaking our hearts? After everything we've sacrificed for you. The mascara wand freezes mid-air. What exactly have you sacrificed for me? She gasps, genuinely shocked. How can you ask that? We gave you everything. I have a meeting. I need to go. I hang up before she can respond, but my hands are shaking as I finish getting ready. By afternoon, my father strides through the glass doors of Summit Communications, his tailored suit and commanding presence turning heads. Ashley catches my eye across the conference room, mouthing code red, before disappearing. I intercept him near reception. Dad, this is my workplace. Then you should conduct yourself like a professional, his voice carries, drawing attention from nearby cubicles. Professionals honor their family obligations. Lower your voice. I guide him toward an empty meeting room, acutely aware of curious glances. What do you want? Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Is that what you wanted? To punish us because we missed one birthday. The dismissal ignites something molten inside me. 1. Try 20 years of birthdays, graduations, and achievements. You always exaggerate. He checks his expensive watch. The point is, Cameron deserves our support. $15,000 from your bonus is more than fair. My phone buzzes with an emergency alert from our biggest client. I have to handle this crisis. We'll talk later. I do too. He heads for the door. This conversation isn't finished, Haley. Actually, it is. I close the door behind me, hands trembling but voice steady as I dial the client. 3 hours later, I stand before our executive team, presenting the crisis management strategy that saved the Alpine Resorts account. My voice doesn't waver once. That was extraordinary work, Miguel says afterward, hand on my shoulder. You just saved a $4 million account with that quick thinking. Pride blooms warm in my chest, unfamiliar but welcome. Walking back to my office, I notice 8 missed calls from Cameron and a text, Mom's having anxiety attacks because of you. Fix this. Fix. Like I'm a problem to be solved rather than a person with feelings. I silence my phone and turn to the stack of congratulatory emails from colleagues and clients. The contrast is stark. At work, I'm valued. At home, I'm an afterthought unless I'm giving something. That night, I sit alone in a corner booth at Starbucks, laptop open, a half-eaten slice of lemon cake beside me. At a nearby table, a group of friends surround a young woman wearing a paper tiara. Make a wish, Sarah. Someone calls as she blows out her candles. I watch their easy affection, the genuine celebration of her existence. The realization settles like a stone in my chest. I will never have this with my family. My fingers hover over the keyboard. Without quite deciding to, I type, Mountain Homes, Colorado for sale. The search yields dozens of results. I click on one, a 3-bedroom cabin with floor-to-ceiling windows facing Pikes Peak. Stone fireplace, wraparound deck, mature aspen trees offering privacy. Price, $425,000. I study the photos, something expanding in my chest with each swipe. This could be mine. My refuge. My choice. What am I even thinking? But somehow, I'm already calling the realtor. 2 days later, I stand on that wraparound deck, watching morning light paint the mountains in shades of gold and purple. The owners are motivated sellers, the realtor explains. They've already relocated to Florida for health reasons. I'll take it, I hear myself say. I can make a substantial down payment. Her eyebrows lift in surprise. Don't you want to think about it? Maybe bring your family to see it. No. The word feels clean, definitive. This is for me. Days later, the mortgage approval comes through quickly, thanks to my excellent credit and stable income. I sign papers in a quiet office, each signature feeling like a declaration of independence. Mrs. Patterson, my elderly neighbor who's shown more interest in my life than my mother ever has, accompanies me to the closing. You're doing the right thing, dear, she says, patting my hand as I receive the keys. Sometimes we need to build our own sanctuary. For the first time in weeks, my hands are perfectly steady. I spend weekends at the cabin, transforming it room by room. The walls fill with framed awards and photographs of moments I'm proud of. My college graduation where I was valedictorian, the team celebration after landing the Technovibe account, the magazine cover featuring my sustainable marketing campaign. The master bedroom becomes my favorite space. I hang a small wooden sign on the door, the birthday suite. Inside, I place a reading chair by the window overlooking the mountains, stack books I've always wanted to read on the nightstand, and splurge on the softest Egyptian cotton bedding I can find. On a bright Sunday, I type out housewarming invitations to Ashley, my colleagues, Mrs. Patterson, and a few genuine friends I've made through work. My finger hovers over my family contacts, a lifetime of conditioning urging me to include them. Instead, I press send only to those who have celebrated my successes, who see me clearly. The action feels small but momentous, like the first stone in a foundation of boundaries I'm only beginning to build. That night, I sit on my deck, watching stars emerge over the mountain peaks, phone deliberately left inside. For the first time in my adult life, I feel powerful, not just successful or accomplished, but powerful in the way that comes from choosing yourself when no one else will. Tomorrow, the calls will continue, the guilt trips will intensify. But here, in this space that belongs only to me, their voices finally begin to fade. I pull out my phone and open Instagram. The photo isn't particularly special, just me on the new cedar deck, barefoot with a glass of Pinot Grigio, the Rocky Mountains stretching endlessly behind me. What matters is the caption, "Weekend at my new mountain cabin, birthday gift to myself." I hover over the post button, take 3 deep breaths, then press it. The mountain air carries a hint of winter, crisp against my skin. For 30 minutes, I simply breathe, watching stars emerge while owls call from nearby pines. When I finally check my phone, the notification count stops me cold. 23 missed calls, 47 text messages. My mother has called 12 times in 20 minutes. I silence the ringer and slip the phone into my jacket pocket. Not tonight. Instead, I settle into the Adirondack chair I assembled myself and watch the Milky Way unfold across the Colorado sky, finally understanding what peace feels like. Monday morning brings 9 voicemails from my mother, each progressively more frantic than the last. "Haley, call me back immediately. Where did you get money for a cabin? Your father wants to know. This is completely irresponsible behavior. Call us. People are asking questions we can't answer. How do you think this makes us look? Your brother is driving to your work right now. You better be there." The final message arrives at 10 a.m. "There's a family emergency meeting tonight. We expect you there. Don't make this worse than it already is." I delete them all and spend my lunch break at Home Depot, buying plants for my new deck. By afternoon, Ashley finds me arranging succulents in terracotta pots. "Your brother showed up at the office looking for you," she says without preamble. "He seemed pretty shaken when I told him you'd taken a personal day. Asked if I knew where you were." "What did you tell him?" "That your whereabouts weren't my information to share." Then he got that Brennan family look, you know, like I was the unreasonable one for respecting your privacy. I laugh, surprising myself with the sound. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet." He cornered Jake from IT, who mentioned something about Colorado property records being public information. So heads up, they might figure it out. I gaze out at my mountain view, where afternoon shadows stretch across fresh snow. Let them. Saturday brings my impromptu housewarming party. Colleagues from the agency arrive with practical gifts and genuine smiles. Miguel brings an expensive bottle of champagne with a handwritten note, to celebrating yourself. We toast on the deck while watching hawks circle overhead. Mrs. Patterson arrives last, her silver hair swept into an elegant bun. She carries a quilt made from fabric scraps in shades of blue and green. For your bedroom, she says, eyes crinkling with warmth. Every home needs something handmade with love. I blink back unexpected tears as she wraps her arms around me. I'm so proud of you, she whispers. We grill burgers and corn on the deck. Someone brings a portable speaker, and classic rock mingles with laughter and conversation. I take photos of everything, friends sprawled on new furniture, sunset reflections in windows, Mrs. Patterson teaching Ashley how to properly fold napkins. I post these images too, each one highlighting the absence of my family while showcasing the people who actually show up for me. Sunday evening, my father texts, "Where did you get cabin money?" Answer immediately. I pour another glass of wine and don't respond. Monday brings the full activation of the family gossip network. My cousin Lindsay calls, voice hushed with calculated concern. "Everyone's talking about your mountain cabin," she says. Aunt Patricia is beside herself. "Uncle Robert called an emergency family meeting, but you weren't there." "I was busy hanging curtains," I reply, surprised by my own calm. "Haley." She pauses dramatically. "People are saying things." "What things?" "That you've been hiding money. That you're having some kind of breakdown. That this is all because you're jealous of Cameron's success." I laugh then, a real laugh that bubbles up from somewhere new inside me. That sounds exactly like something my family would say. The call that finally comes Thursday night is from my mother. I answer on the fourth ring, settling into my porch swing. "Haley Patricia Brennan," she begins, voice tight with controlled fury. "This has gone far enough." "What has?" "This attention-seeking behavior. Buying a cabin without consulting the family. Posting those photos. People are asking questions." I rock gently, watching a deer pick its way across my front yard. "What questions?" Her voice drops to a whisper. "Why you would need to buy yourself a birthday present. Why we weren't there to help you celebrate. It's creating a very uncomfortable situation for this family." How interesting. It's almost like actions have consequences. "We need to fix this." Her voice hardens with purpose. "I'm organizing a family dinner Sunday night. Your father and I will explain that this was all a misunderstanding. That we've always supported you." The old Haley would have agreed immediately, desperate to smooth things over. But that Haley doesn't live here anymore. "I'm available Tuesday next week," I say instead. 7 o'clock. "And I'll bring the photo albums." "What photo albums?" I smile into the phone. "The ones I've been keeping since I was 11 years old. Documenting everything." For once, my mother has nothing to say. Tuesday evening, the stone steps of my parents' mansion stretch before me like courthouse stairs. I grip 3 photo albums tighter against my chest, knuckles whitening around their edges. The autumn sun casts long shadows across the manicured lawn, shadows that seem to reach for me, trying to pull me back into old patterns. I ring the doorbell instead of using my key. Tonight, I'm not family. I'm a prosecutor with evidence. The heavy oak door swings open. Dad stands there, all 6'3" of him framed in the doorway. His silver hair is perfectly styled despite the hour. His eyes flick to the albums in my arms, then back to my face. "You're late," he says, turning away without waiting for a response. No hug. No smile. Just criticism. I follow him into the foyer where Mom waits, tissues already clutched in her hand. Her eyes are red-rimmed, makeup carefully applied to look like she's been crying without actually ruining her appearance. "Haley," her voice breaks dramatically. "We've been so worried." I don't answer. The script is too familiar. Her tears, my guilt, my eventual surrender. "Not tonight." Cameron appears from the living room, bourbon in hand. He pauses when he sees me, his expression shifting from casual confidence to something uncertain. I stand straighter, holding his gaze until he looks away first. "Dinner's getting cold," Mom says, turning toward the dining room. The table is set with the good china, candles flickering in sterling silver holders. "A peace offering. Or a bribe?" I place the photo albums on the sideboard and take my usual seat opposite Cameron, diagonal from the head of the table where Dad reigns. Your mother made your favorite, Dad says, serving himself first as always. Beef Wellington. It hasn't been my favorite since high school. Cameron prefers it. Let's just cut to the chase, I say, leaving my plate empty. I know why you called this dinner. Mom sets down her fork with a theatrical sigh. Haley, sweetheart, we're just concerned about your impulsive decisions. Buying that cabin without consulting us? Dad interjects, knife slicing through his meat with surgical precision. It reflects poorly on the family image. Reckless spending, poor financial planning. It was my bonus money, I say quietly. Money that could have been invested properly, he continues as if I hadn't spoken, or contributed to something meaningful for the family. Cameron clears his throat. Haley, no one's saying you can't have nice things, but maybe selling it would keep peace in the family. Mom's been crying every night. I push back my chair and walk to the sideboard. The first album feels heavy in my hands as I return, placing it at the center of the table. I brought something I thought you should see. Dad's mouth tightens. We don't have time for scrapbooks. Make time. My voice doesn't waver. I open the first album to pages of Cameron in party hats, Cameron blowing out candles, Cameron surrounded by towers of presents. Ages 6 through 25, each birthday documented with professional photography. Turn to page 18, I tell Cameron. He hesitates, then flips the page. A photo of his 21st birthday. Dad handing him keys to a brand new BMW. Mom crying tears of actual joy. I slide the second album forward. This one's mine. Mom reaches for it first, fingers trembling slightly as she opens it. Empty pages stare back at her. A few scattered photos, me alone with grocery store cupcakes. One of Mrs. Patterson hugging me on my 30th. Nothing else. There was nothing to put in it, I explain. On my 21st birthday, you were at Cameron's law school orientation weekend. Remember? Cameron flinches. I open the third album without waiting for a response. Family vacations? Disney World. Yellowstone. European tours. I'm not in these because I wasn't there. I was left with Grandma, or at summer camp, or told there wasn't enough money for everyone to go. Dad stands abruptly, chair scraping against hardwood. What's the point of this melodrama, Haley? You've always been the difficult one. The point is evidence. I pull out a printed spreadsheet, highlighted and tabbed. This tracks family spending. Cameron versus me. College tuition, birthday gifts, car down payments, family trips. The numbers tell their own story. Thousands for Cameron. Hundreds for me. And this, I say, producing a worn diary page, is from when I was 9. I read aloud, maybe next year they'll remember my birthday without Mrs. Patterson having to remind them. Finally, I produce a photograph from Christmas dinner 3 years ago. An empty chair at the table, a place setting with my name on a card. I was in Denver working. You knew I couldn't come, but you set a place anyway, took this picture, and sent it to me with "We missed you." You wanted me to feel guilty for not being there. I point to the chair. Look closer. Mom takes the photo, squinting. That's not my usual chair, I say quietly. That's where guests sit. Even when you're pretending I belong, I'm still an outsider. The silence stretches between us, taut as a wire. Dad's face darkens to crimson. What do you want from us, Haley? An apology? Fine. We favored Cameron. He was always the priority. He's carrying on the Brennan name, the Brennan legacy. Mom crumples, real tears now. We didn't mean to. It just happened. And then it became a pattern, and I was easier to ignore, I finish for her. Cameron hasn't spoken. He's staring at a photo I deliberately placed at the edge of the table, him at 8, surrounded by presents, me at 6 watching from the background, mouth tight in a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. I stand, gathering my evidence, except for the albums. Those I leave behind. I don't need your approval anymore, I say, voice clear and steady. I don't need your love or your attention or your validation. I waited 32 years for you to see me. I'm done waiting. I turn toward the door, Shoulders straight, steps unhurried. Behind me, Cameron calls my name. Mom sobs. Dad remains silent. I pause at the threshold, not looking back. The albums are yours to keep. Consider them a gift. The door closes behind me with a quiet click that echoes like thunder. 1 year later. The morning sun paints gold across my cabin deck as I arrange a tray of fresh fruit beside a champagne bucket. 33 candles wait on the cake. Ashley insisted on bringing one for each year, plus one for luck. Need any help? Kevin from accounting calls from the sliding door, balancing a platter of pastries. Just set those anywhere. I smooth my yellow sundress and check my watch. Everyone should be here within the hour. A year makes quite the difference. Last birthday, I sat alone in my apartment with a store-bought cake. Today, my deck bustles with colleagues and new friends, all here to celebrate me. My phone buzzes with congratulatory texts about my promotion to VP of Marketing. The timing feels poetic, announced yesterday, celebrated today. The mountains sparkle beyond the railing, reflecting the sky that matches my mood. Dr. Martinez, my therapist, would call this progress. Our weekly sessions have helped me understand the family dynamics that shaped me. Breaking generational patterns takes courage, she'd said. Courage looks like spending Thanksgiving at a ski resort in Aspen instead of my parents' house. Like muting group texts when they turn manipulative. Like building my own traditions from scratch. Haley. Ashley raises her mimosa glass. To the birthday girl who taught us all how to choose ourselves. Glasses clink. Laughter ripples. I absorb the warmth of genuine connection, so different from the hollow performance of family gatherings. A car door slams out front. I know that engine sound, Cameron's Tesla. My brother stands awkwardly at the edge of the deck, holding a wrapped package. We haven't spoken since the photo album confrontation, since he watched his perfect family narrative crumble under the weight of evidence. Sorry to crash, he says. I wanted to give you this in person. Join us, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Later, when the party moves indoors, Cameron and I sit at the end of the deck. The package rests between us, still wrapped. Therapy's been eye-opening, he admits, watching a hawk circle overhead. Dad still won't go, but Mom's trying. She talks about you differently now. And you? I ask. I never saw it until you showed us. How they erased you while spotlighting me. He pushes the package toward me. Open it. Inside is a framed photograph I've never seen before, me at 7, perched on our old rope swing, laughing at something beyond the camera. Just me. Found it in Dad's storage boxes, Cameron explains. Had it restored. Proof you existed, even when nobody was looking. My throat tightens. Not a solution, but a beginning. A knock at the cabin door pulls me back to the party. Through the glass, I see my mother standing alone on the porch, clutching a small bakery box. She insisted on coming, Cameron says. I didn't tell her where until today. Mom's hands tremble as she holds out the box. Inside sits a cupcake with a single candle. Happy birthday, Haley, she whispers, her rehearsed smile faltering into something more genuine. I brought carrot cake. You always liked that, didn't you? I did. She remembered. The party's winding down, I say, stepping aside. You can stay for cake if you'd like. Her relief is palpable. Small steps. After everyone leaves, I walk back to the deck as twilight settles over the mountains. Last year, I spent my birthday staring at an empty phone in a sterile apartment. Tonight, I'm surrounded by gifts chosen with care, echoes of laughter, and the beginnings of boundaries that protect without isolating. My phone chimes with a text from Mrs. Patterson. Did you enjoy your day, dear? I smile as I type my reply. For the first time, I truly celebrated myself. The cabin windows glow behind me, light reflecting on the mountain peaks. I raise my glass to my silhouette against the sunset, toasting the woman who finally learned that validation begins within. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the courage to stop waiting for others to see your worth, and start celebrating it yourself.